is Jackie Stephens. I'm a certified yoga teacher, and we are going to do an hour and 15-minute yin practice. Yin is a very slow, gentle, and meditative practice where we hold our poses for 3 to 5 minutes, and it's available to anyone of any experience level. You don't have to have any experience in yoga or be particularly flexible or bendy in order to do this practice. You would probably want to have some props nearby. I like these crocheted afghans. If you have an aunt in your life who crochets, this is the time where her afghans will shine. There is something about them that they're just very easy to work with and make different heights and fluffiness. Or, here it is. This is a harder pillow. Any pillows that you use, you'll probably want them to be harder, or you're going to need a lot of them. This is actually the kind of pillow that you put underneath your knees when you're laying down. So this is nice and hard, and you'll be able to use this. So go ahead and gather up any props that you might need. Find a quiet place. Tell your family that you are going to be busy for the next 75 minutes and enjoy the practice. I'm going to invite you this morning to let go. Really take these 75 minutes for yourself and let go. We are going to be doing yin, which is a very slow meditative practice. So while life has changed for us, and we don't know how quickly it's going to go back, keep in mind, you're the same. You are the same as you were 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I mean, yeah, we all change somewhat from day to day, but your soul, your purpose, yourself, we are all the same that we always have been. And you can hold on to that. So knowing that you're okay, and you're going to be okay. Let's let our minds go blank, and we're going to let our bodies relax, and you're going to know that this is your time to let go of your anxiety, your stress, just to let go and relax. So let's go ahead and start with centering. I have my little setup behind me, so forgive me while I go back to it. Hello, I'm back here now. So we're going to start with centering. And I'd like you to go ahead and start on your back. And make sure that you're comfortable. So go ahead and start on your back, laying with your head comfortably supported. Perhaps you need a little blanket or pillow underneath your knees. Perhaps you need a pillow or blanket under your head. Take a few moments to get comfortable so that you feel like you can be supported and you can lie comfortably for the next few minutes. Wiggle your shoulders away from your ears. Let your neck be nice and long. Perhaps roll the head gently from side to side, making sure you have space. Your arms can either come out to your sides, or you can rest with your hands on your belly. Now that you're comfortable, I'm going to ask you to check in with your breath. Before you do anything, you're not trying to alter it, you're not trying to deepen it, although for many of us, we do tend to drop into our yogic breath almost as soon as we hit the mat. And if that happens, that's fine. But if you haven't altered your breath yet, don't. Just check in with it and see what your breath is doing. Notice if the breath is deep and rhythmical, or notice if the breath is kind of quick and shallow And maybe it's moving more in the upper lobes of your lungs. And you're not altering, you're not judging, you're simply noticing what the breath is doing. And then check in with your mind. The breath and the mind are very connected. So that if the breath is moving quickly and just shallow, quick breath, there's a good chance you're in monkey mind and your mind is moving, moving, moving. And if the breath is slower, you may notice that the mind is more empty and that the mind has already begun to slow down. And if it's somewhere in between, that's fine too. But just know what you brought to the mat this morning with your mind and your breath. And then let's go ahead and check in with your body. Take a check from the top of your head, moving down your face. Do you feel any tension in your forehead? Are your eyebrows drawing together? If so, relax them, move them away from one another. Do you feel tension in your jaw? Perhaps move the jaw gently from side to side. Or press the lips together gently and allow your teeth to separate. And maybe allow the tip of the tongue to lift up to the hard palate behind the teeth. Noticing how that all causes the jaws to release. As the jaws release, you're going to notice perhaps the shoulders and the neck release a little bit too. Check and see how much tension is there. Check in with your shoulders, shoulder blades, arms. Are you gripping with your hands or holding your fingers tense at all? And then move down the torso. Noticing if it feels scrunched up or if you can lengthen the torso on the mat a little bit. Bringing your focus down towards your hips. Are you holding tension in your hips? Are you holding tension in your glutes? That's very common when we're stressed for us to clench our glutes, our cheeks, our butt. So if you are, relax there. Notice if you're holding tension in your legs, if you're holding your feet straight up. And then knowing what you brought to the mat with your mind, body, and breath, let's begin to deepen the breath. I'm going to move us into 3-part breath. And if this is something that's familiar to you, go ahead and do your thing. But I'm going to go ahead and teach it because I don't know the level of everyone here. So go ahead and breathe deeply into your belly. Inhaling, letting the belly round. Exhaling, allowing the belly to fall back towards the spine. Inhale, the belly stretches upward. Exhale, the belly releases back to the spine. Inhale, exhale. Allow yourself to breathe in this manner for a few moments, simply breathing into the belly, allowing it to lift on the inhale and relax back down on the exhale. And letting the breath do a lot of the movement. We're not trying to engage the core, although it will engage slightly with the breath. we are trying to move into a deep, relaxing breath. And what you're going to find is, as this breath becomes rhythmical, you're going to make space in your torso. So with your next inhale, the belly lifts and the ribs separate. Exhale, the ribs draw together and the belly flattens down. Inhale, belly lifts, ribs move apart. Exhale, ribs draw back together and the belly button moves back to the spine. Take a few more of these breaths, keeping in mind that we never want to be working so hard with our breath that we feel dizzy or woozy. We want to feel nourished, and we want to feel as though we're making some space. But we definitely don't want to breathe so hard that we're arching up off of the mat or that we're feeling woozy in our head. Take a few more breaths, breathing into the belly and into the ribs. Exhaling, ribs relax, belly relaxes. We have soft tissue that connects the ribs to one another. And woven in that soft tissue are nerves. So as you begin to breathe deeper into your ribs, you're going to start to encourage those nerves, activate them. And that will bring your parasympathetic nervous system into play. This means you're going to start to relax. So continue with this nice deep breathing and notice, is my breath starting to draw up under my collarbones? And go ahead and encourage that now so that when you inhale, the belly lifts, the ribs separate, and we draw the breath all the way up towards the collarbones. And with an exhale, the chest relaxes down, the ribs move together, the belly button draws back. Inhale, belly, ribs, up towards the chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Take several more breaths in this manner. The thing to focus on is the idea that we're going up the torso on the inhale, belly, ribs, chest, and down on the exhale, chest, ribs, belly. And that's where we focus. Simply allowing the mind to lie at the breath, breathing deeply, finding the right deepness so that you don't feel like you're stressing your body. And of course, you don't feel woozy at all. And while we're laying here breathing and relaxing, I'm going to talk a little bit about the 4 principles of Yin Yoga. I know Bernie Clark talks about 3 principles of Yin, but there's a 4th one that I've seen in some literature that I like and I think fits in. So the first principle of Yin Yoga, we don't work as hard as we possibly can. We are not trying to stretch out before a marathon. We come to a comfortable place, a comfortable edge in our poses, and then we back off. We come to a place that we can hold for 3 to 5 minutes. So principle number 1, find an appropriate edge. Principle number 2, When you find that edge, be still. Ignore your Apple Watch. Whatever notifications are there will be there when you're finished. Your nose, the itch, it's going to go away. And unless you have an actual cramp in your foot, you probably don't need to move it right now. So once you find your appropriate edge in a pose, be comfortable and be still. Third principle is that we hold for 3 to 5 minutes. There are a couple of poses that we hold a little shorter, although I'm not doing any of them today. There's a couple of yin poses that are a little more active and upright that you have to think about. I've chosen poses today that don't require a lot of thinking. So we're going to find our appropriate edge, we're going to be still, and we're going to hold. The fourth principle of yin, to release with care. I have seen people come out of yin poses like somebody set fire to their feet, and that's not what we want. You can hurt yourself that way. You've been in a position for a period of time, and you need to give your body time to back out appropriately. So I'll remind you to come in slowly and to exit slowly. But that's something you also need to keep in mind when you're practicing yin. So our 4 principles: comfortable edge, be still, hold still, and release with care. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and come to our first pose this morning, which is resting pose. So it's not really that much different from where you are now, but I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate it for you. So we're laying on our back. We're going to go ahead and bring our feet to the floor, about hip width apart, about mat width apart is what works for me best. Support one another. Head comes to center. Hands can rest on the belly, or arms can come out to the sides. Again, whichever is more comfortable for you. So this is what you're going to look like. Laying comfortably, breathing deeply. Keeping that good, deep 3-part breath. And knowing that sometimes our 3-part breath is more like 2-part breath or 2.5-part breath. We carry a lot of stress in our chest. And sometimes that keeps us from drawing the breath all the way up. Sometimes it's because, just like anything, we need to exercise our lungs a little bit more so that they learn to grow and make more space. So, lying comfortably, I'd like you to go ahead and take that body scan again and find any place in your body that you might be holding tension. And if there's any place, direct your breath there. Allow the low back and the hips to release. And you also may need to move your feet just a little bit. If your knees do not feel well supported, if you can't just forget about them, then move your feet in or out. We're all anatomically different. So find that comfortable place. Direct the 3-part breath anywhere you feel yourself holding. And I'm going to be silent for a few moments so that you can relax and let go. While you're resting, I'm going to alternate between moments of silence and some discussions about yin, and maybe some discussions about life. One of the things I'd like to mention, because yoga teachers, yin teachers bring this up from time to time, is something called the meridians. This is going to be a ridiculously simplified discussion about the meridians. We know that energy flows through our body through different pathways. The meridians guide energy throughout these pathways to specific parts of the body. Importantly, the energy flows to approximately 12 major organs of the body. The belief is that the clearer that this energy runs, the less blockages, the healthier your organs are. So if you hear someone talk about clearing their liver meridian, that means that they believe that they have done work to clear the channel, to clear the meridian. It is believed that it is the free flow of energy to the organs that helps keep them healthy and functioning properly. So this particular pose, resting pose, believe it or not, by relaxing and bringing attention and breath to the pelvic area specifically, we are actually stimulating 6 meridians right now. So you're doing a lot of really good work for your body. You are helping to clear your stomach, urinary bladder, gallbladder, kidney, liver, and spleen meridians. You're starting to allow that energy to flow more freely to your organs. And that's a very, very simple discussion on meridians. We have about 1 minute left in this pose. Bring the breath directly into your pelvis, into the hips, into the low back. Inhale deeply and exhale completely. Go ahead and very slowly allow the knees to separate, and then draw the knees slowly into the chest. Give yourself a nice big hug in. And do this in any way that you would like. You can draw your knees right into your chest and squeeze in. You can let your knees separate and get into your hips a little bit. You can move your legs by bringing your hands to your knees and opening up the knees, moving the knees with your hands. Whatever feels appropriate for you at this moment, go ahead and do that. Beautiful. And then let's go ahead and let's bring our knees in very close for a moment. Go ahead and squeeze them in tightly. Bring your forehead up to your knees. Cross your left ankle over your right. Reach for your ankles. And then lay your head back down, drawing the knees in. So it's a big squeeze. Good. Continue that good deep breath while you're doing this. 2 more deep breaths. And then release. Cross the, oops, I'm sorry. First, bring your knees in closely. Inhale the forehead up to the knees. Cross the right over the left. Reach for your ankles. Release the head down and draw the knees in. And if at any time you have to kind of look up and see what I'm doing and then release back down, please do. Most of my instructions, I would hope you'd be able to just focus on the sound of my voice, but from time to time, I've been known to speak unclearly. Go ahead and release the legs. Draw the knees in one more time and maybe take a gentle rock from side to side. Come back to center. Release the feet to the floor. We're going to move into reclined butterfly. So you might need something to support your thighs or your knees. So you might want to find your blankets or your pillows. Feet together. Open up the knees. And then support your legs with whatever you need. Now remember, we're going to be here for 3 to 5 minutes, so you want to make sure your legs are comfortable and supported. And then go ahead and you can also make a big diamond shape. Your heels do not have to be in close to your body at all. And then if you'd like, let your arms come up over top, over your head, laying on the floor, of course, but you make something of a figure 8 like this. Your legs are in a diamond shape and your arms are in a circle. Or your arms can come down at your sides or rest on your belly. Same thing here. I want you to bring your focus directly to your low back and breathe deeply. Let your back muscles release. Let your hips release. Allow everything to soften. We're in that 3-part deep breath. Make sure the knees and thighs are supported. This works. Your urinary bladder meridian. This is the kind of thing that, as women approach middle age, this is a good one to work. So go ahead and keep breathing deeply, using the mantra if it helps, breathing in. I know I am breathing in. Breathing out. I know I am breathing out. We have about 1 more minute. Finding that good deep breath. Allowing the breath to become a rhythm. A sustainable rhythm that your body can maintain. Inhale deeply and exhale completely. So from your forward bend, very gently just lift your head up, press into your hands, and slowly climb your way back up. Pause there for a moment. Let the legs relax. If you have anything under your legs, go ahead and take it out, and you can go ahead and shake your legs out a little bit. Let your chin fall into the chest for a moment and just sit here quietly. Let the legs come to neutral. So as you're sitting quietly, continue with your good deep breath. Let your chin fall into your chest, and then maybe let your chin sweep over from side to side. Inhaling to the right, exhaling center, inhaling left. Take a few rounds, moving the head and neck in a way that feels comfortable. If it feels comfortable for you to come all the way around, go ahead. Just be careful. Our necks are not always as strong as we like to feel they are. In whatever direction you're going in, go ahead and reverse it. So if your head is going all the way around, go in a different direction. If you're going from side to side, just keep moving. And then go ahead and bring your head back to neutral with an inhale. Exhale in place. And then we're going to move into a half butterfly. So with your legs out in front of you, straight out, go ahead and bend. I'm bending my right knee and bringing my right foot to the inside of my left thigh. Bring your hands to either side of your left leg. Inhale, sit up. Remember that left leg does not have to be, you don't have to be pressing out through the foot, it's relaxed. We inhale and we sit up tall, and as we exhale, we slowly lower over this leg. Once we get to that place where we feel our back starting to round, that's where we relax. So come down and then allow yourself to relax. Several different things you can do to prop yourself up. You can support this right knee so that you don't feel any stress in your hip. You can relax the left knee gently so that you don't get too tight in your hamstring. And if you like to, or if you have something that's big enough, you can rest a big pillow or a big blanket on your left leg so that it catches your head. And wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever you've propped up, breathe. Find that beautiful 3-part breath. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. I am nourishing my soul this morning. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. The intention of all yoga, and particularly Yin yoga, is to keep the energy flowing smoothly and without interruption throughout the body. Yin yoga targets the connective tissues that surround particularly the area between your waist and your upper thighs, just below your hips. A lot of us with back issues like to do Yin yoga because there's a lot of good releases for the low back and hips. Yin targets the connective tissue that surrounds the low back especially, the pelvis, and the joints of the femurs, your big leg bones in your thighs. So go ahead and keep breathing, knowing that the connective tissue around your knees, around your ankle, in your feet, in your toes, in your hips, all of that connective tissue that we struggle with is relaxing, softening, and in this manner, you're bringing space to your joints. We only have a few more seconds in this one. Breathe deeply. Inhale deeply and exhale completely. Take a nice big inhale and gently lift your head, and then use your hands to walk your way back up to seated. Let your eyes be closed and let everything simply relax, feeling your muscles rebound, everything going back into place. And then, of course, bring this right leg up, straighten it out, give it a little wiggle, a little wobble, and then we bend the left knee and bring it in towards the right thigh. Right leg is relaxed. You can place a blanket under your left knee. You can find something to prop yourself up and bring it on your right knee. Have your props ready, knowing every side is different, both sides, each side is different, and respect that. Don't try to force your right side to do what your left side is doing. Respect what everything is in your body. So frame out your right leg with your hands. Inhale and exhale down to where the back starts to round, and then soften and relax, rounding forward. Keep your eyes closed as much as you can through this practice and move through quietly. When we bring our focus, when we bring our breath to these joints and their connective tissue, because we're doing it through mental concentration and physical concentration and physical movement, we can actually stimulate the flow of energy in a way that's rather like acupuncture. It's not exactly the same. Acupuncture is great and it has its own benefits, but this is not dissimilar. So keep your eyes closed, allow the breath to move, 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 slowly, deeply, rhythmically. As I breathe in, I know I am breathing in. As I breathe out, I know I am breathing out. Our half butterfly, it is stimulating our urinary bladder, which you probably could have guessed because it's a seated forward bend. We are also stimulating our liver, kidney, and gallbladder meridians. All good stuff. Especially in these moments where we're at home a lot and we may or may not be eating and drinking quite what we should. So this deep breath that's helping us in our posture, that's helping us clear these meridians, it's all good. A few more seconds. 2 more good deep breaths. And with your next inhale, gently lift your head and then slowly walk your way up. Pause, let your eyes stay closed and relax. You can bring the left foot to the floor and straighten out the leg. And then just pause here for a moment and let everything rebound. Maybe take your hands to your thighs or your knees and wobble your legs a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to come to our backs again for our spinal twist. So if you know from experience that you're going to need some props for your twist, have them ready. Go ahead and set up, getting ready for your twist, or just having props handy, knowing that you're going to need something, you might not know what yet. Go ahead and come down to your back, very gently and slowly, whatever way works for you. Coming back down, draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself that nice big hug in. Not all of you know this about me, but I'm a hugger. And the fact that I can't hug you guys it's not the happiest day. But consider this your hug from me. So give yourself this good hug in. Really feel the love, the gratitude, the happiness. Release your head down. And you can go ahead and take a few movements. Maybe you want to wobble gently from side to side. Perhaps you want to move your knees open with your hands. Just take a few movements. And then when you're ready, draw the knees into the chest, let them rest there. Open your arms out to a T, palms up or down, whichever way works better for you. Inhale deeply, and as you exhale, let your knees travel to the left. Let them come down to the floor, or your bolster, or your support, whatever you need. So I'm going to put my bolster under my knees, and I'm going to take this little blanket and put it under my right shoulder so that my right shoulder is more supported. And here's the good thing. You can let this twist be anything you want. So if it's comfortable for you to cross your top leg over your bottom leg, or perhaps you want to draw your knees in closer to your body, or make more of a right angle with your body, whatever. This is your twist. This is your time. Find what works best for you and stay here. Once you've found that good, comfortable position, find the breath again. Inhaling deeply and exhaling completely. And notice how the breath assists a little bit with the twist. That when you exhale deeply, your body relaxes just that much more. And in these quiet moments, when I can let my mind go blank or I can focus on a mantra, I like to feel what my breath can do with my body, how my breath can assist, or how it can help relax. And simply lie here in comfort. Now, I know that sometimes it's difficult to let go of things like our routine or really anything. Sometimes it's just hard to let go. And it's difficult because it is. There's not really a good reason for it. It's just hard. So as you are letting go, realize that all it takes is a decision. It takes the decision to let go. Riding the waves of life allows us to be in situations, to be in the present moment, all without the stress of wanting the situation to be something different. Think about how much energy you waste by not wanting to let go of something that's already gone. So relax, go with the waves of life. It allows you to be more present in the moment. Breathing in, I know that I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I am breathing out. And of course, you can roll your head to one side or the other when you're in a twist, or you can allow your head just to face straight up. That matters what feels good to you. If you have any problems with your shoulders or neck, it may not be comfortable to let your head roll to one side or another. And comfort is the key here. That's what we're looking for. Inhale deeply and exhale completely. As you exhale next, draw the knees up into the chest. So come from your twist and bring yourself onto your back, squeezing your knees in, taking a little movement from side to side, whatever feels appropriate. And if you need to grab any of your props and put them on the other side now, you can certainly do that. And then go ahead. Draw the knees into the chest. Bring the arms out to a T. Take a nice big inhale. And as you exhale, the knees float over to the right. If your left shoulder is lifting up, place a blanket underneath. You can bring your hand to your top leg. And again, take whatever form of twist feels appropriate for your body. Breathe deeply. Find your mantra. Find your good slow breath. Depending on which twist you are doing, you are at the very least working on your gallbladder meridian, but there might be others. It just depends on where your twist is. Let that good deep breath nourish the twist. It is very understandable to be upset when things are not going your way. It is very understandable. But when we obsess over trying to change the way that we want things to be, we limit ourselves. If we attach ourselves to something, if we attach ourselves to an outcome, there might be other ways it could work out that are amazing. But if you've attached yourself to this one outcome, you could miss out on lots of other opportunities. So while we're in this place outside of our routine, try not to attach yourself to deadlines or outcomes or things that are outside of our control. Again, riding the wave of life brings us so many opportunities. And the stress is so much less than if you're trying to fit yourself into a specific box or a specific scenario. Actually, we tend to cause suffering when we are trying to manipulate a situation into a certain outcome. We end up causing ourselves suffering the majority of the time. Not only because we've missed out on things, but also because we might just not get the outcome that we wanted. Go with the flow. You are your own anchor. About one more minute. Inhale deeply and exhale completely. Slowly take a nice inhale, and as you exhale, bring the knees back to center. Pause for a moment, and then when you're ready, bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself a big hug in. If you feel like a little movement is required before we move into our final relaxation, give yourself those little movements. And then go ahead and, laying on your back, just stretch your legs up in the air, like so. They might shake a little, they might wobble a little, but we're just letting a little relaxation come into the legs before we go into our final relaxation. And as you're ready, slowly lower the legs to the floor and take your position. Allow your arms to come out to your sides or rest on your belly. Maybe roll the head gently from side to side to make sure that you have lots of space at the neck. Inhale deeply and exhale completely. Allow your breath to return to its natural place. So no more effort, Don't have to work with the 3-part breath anymore. Simply go ahead and relax into your natural breath. And let's go ahead and bring our focus to the top of our head again. Notice if there's any tension in the scalp or in the forehead. Notice if the eyebrows are moving towards one another. And then slowly release the eyebrows away from one another. Allow the forehead to smooth out, and you'll feel your scalp even relax as that happens. Let the focus slip down into your eyes. Allow the eyes themselves to be very heavy and just laying heavily in their sockets with your eyes closed or your eyes just heavy, the eyelids heavy and the gaze unfocused. Bring the focus to the place at your jaw. And as you inhale and exhale, trace a line from your jaw to the flesh right behind your earlobe. So you're just breathing and imagining that breath is massaging this little area, and you're going to feel your jaws start to relax. As the jaw relaxes, you're going to feel the relaxation trickle down into your neck, down into your shoulders. Allow the relaxation to move down into your arms. Your elbows are soft, fingers are soft, hands relaxed. Bring the focus back up to your neck, and then trace the relaxation as it spills down into your torso. The chest relaxes. The ribs are sprawling out away from one another. The spine is very heavy on the mat. Check in again with those glutes. If you have low back or hip problems, your glutes probably squeeze together and you don't even realize it. Bring your focus into the glutes and the hips and allow them to relax. Allow the relaxation to trickle down your legs. The quads, those big muscles on the front of the legs, are heavy and soft. The knees are soft, maybe even bent slightly. And the feet move away from one another. Allow the relaxation to trickle from the top of your head all the way down your body into your feet. Allow yourself to grow heavier, almost as though you're going to leave an impression on the ground. The breath is slow and rhythmical without any intention. The skin rests against the floor. The muscles rest against the skin. The bones rest against the muscles. And you let go and relax. Allow yourself to focus back at your breath again, however you experience that. Whether you feel the belly lifting and falling, or if you feel the breath, the cool air coming in the nostrils, the warm air leaving. However you experience the breath, follow it. Come back to the breath. Allow the breath to bring you slowly back to your mat. And then notice if your body wants any movement. It might feel good to roll the head gently from side to side, wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes, whatever feels appropriate for you. And then as you're ready, stretch your arms behind you. Inhale, stretch, take a good long good morning stretch. And maybe move the body a little from side to side. Maybe stretch out one side and then the other. When you're ready, slowly bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself that good, big, yogic thank you of a hug. Roll off to your right side, noticing how your heart feels beating. Sometimes you can feel it from the front and the back of the body in this position. Feeling all the love you have for this practice of yoga. Pressing the top hand into the floor, slowly make your way up to a seated position. Hello. I hope you all had a wonderful class. Let's go ahead and inhale our arms up, if you can. Otherwise, just meet me at heart center. Breathing, eyes are a little relaxed. Now close your eyes for a moment and notice how your breath feels, how the mind is. Is it still on its hamster wheel or is it nice and slow? And how the body feels. Knowing what you brought to the mat with you and how you feel right now. This is the difference you can make to yourself. This practice of yoga is always available to you. You just have to reach out and find it. Let's take this moment to thank all the teachers who came before us and laid the foundations of knowledge. I thank and appreciate the teachers who walk the earth and learn and teach alongside of me. Julie and Fabian, I appreciate you very much. And then, of course, the teachers who will come later, who will carry on for us. Have a wonderful rest of your week. I hope to see you all again next Sunday. Check the schedule. It'll either be 9:30 or 10. And namaste.